had an incredible time traveling to Costa Rica. The country is beautiful, the people are warm and friendly, and the beaches and the wildlife are some of the best in the world. I'd really like to do a video like this for every destination that I visit solo, because I think it's really important information for other female solo travelers. And anything that I say that's negative is not meant to disrespect the country in any way or its people. I just think it's useful for other females to hear the perspective of another female traveler. So I'm going to talk about my specific stories and experiences from Costa Rica and then give it some ratings. I traveled to Costa Rica completely solo. I flew to San Jose, and then I also went to Tortuguero National Park, which was my favorite, and Manuel Antonio and La Fortuna. I ended up meeting several new friends, including 3 other girls that were also traveling solo. I stayed in the Barrio Escalante neighborhood of San Jose. It's a really nice neighborhood. It's trendy and safe, and there's a lot of restaurants around, and I felt fine walking around in this neighborhood even at night. And we actually stumbled upon a party, which was kind of cool, and I think there's always events happening around in this neighborhood. For most of the trip, I did feel fine in San Jose, but I did have an issue with catcalling. A friend and I, we decided to walk back to our hostel. It was a little bit before sunset, and unfortunately we experienced about 50 men catcalling us in the period of maybe 10 to 20 minutes. Yelling at us, whistling, making comments, and obviously this is a super uncomfortable feeling. We were ready to get back and frustrated, and as soon as we got back to the Barrio Escalante neighborhood, we felt fine again. And for the rest of the trip, I pretty much just took taxis around San Jose. I didn't really want to experience that again walking. I didn't really go to any bars in San Jose. I was waking up early for day trips, so I didn't really have any late nights out. In Tortuguero, I felt nothing but respect. They're so friendly to tourists there, and my guide at the lodge was so helpful. He always asked if I had any questions, and I felt super comfortable. The bus that I took from San Jose to Manuel Antonio and back was really nice. It was kind of like a charter bus. It was really comfortable, and they even stopped halfway for a restroom break and snacks. In Manuel Antonio, it was really eerie to me that everything closed down at night. Walking around at maybe 8 or 9 p.m., there were no restaurants or bars or shops open, so that was a really strange feeling. A friend and I had met some locals in Manuel Antonio, and they invited us to go up the hill to Quepos to experience some nightlife. And everything was going fine until they pulled the car and were like, hey, get in. And that's where I was just like, I think I'm gonna pass. And you have to listen to your gut and your intuition, and sometimes you're gonna come off as a party pooper, and that's okay, because when you're traveling solo, you're the only person looking out for yourself. And I'm sure we probably would have been fine. Those guys seemed nice. You never know. But looking back, I'm happy that I listened to my intuition, and you always have to. On that note, there are drivers in Central America called colectivo drivers. And basically, it's like an Uber driver, but they're cheaper because it's unofficial. So they just have lower fares, but they're not being tracked or anything. There's no app. So personally, I don't want to use any driver like this because there's no way to know that this is even a driver. You don't know where they're going to go. Versus a taxi, if it's an official taxi, you know what they're going to look like. So this is a small thing that I would say makes me feel more comfortable traveling, is just maybe being a little bit more conservative in these kind of situations, but it makes me feel safer. Now I'm going to do some ratings in some different categories. So navigation. Navigation by myself, knowing nothing about the country. I didn't know anything about the Costa Rica bus system. It was pretty easy to figure out, and obviously you can ask your hotel or your hostel as well for more information. The buses were super comfortable. It was pretty easy and simple, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. meeting people. I think one of the cool things about traveling solo is having the option to meet people when you're traveling as well, so that if you don't want to be solo, you can hang out with them. And it was super easy in Costa Rica. I met a lot of people at the hostels, as well as just out and about. At the volcano I met someone, and then they knew someone, and we all went to lunch together. So it's super easy to meet people there, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Walking. I'm going to give this a low score because of the catcalling and feeling disrespected by this, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Go or no? Yes, definitely go to Costa Rica. I had such a wonderful time, and I think you will too, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, would recommend. I would encourage you to travel to Costa Rica. I know it can be a little bit scary traveling to a new country by yourself, but I think you will have an amazing time. If you have any questions, be sure to comment them below and I will answer them. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.